Welcome to Live from the Bunker with FUBAR. I'm your host, and it's been quite the week in the gaming community, hasn't it? Thursday, it's announced that Valve is going to start charging for certain mods on their Steam Workshop, and yesterday it all came crashing down after severe fan backlash, and I'm really upset about this. In case you didn't hear my earlier video about this, I was very positive about this, and I thought it was like one of the best thing to happen in the game industry in years, and I'll go on to explain that. But for those of you who don't know, on Steam, in the Steam Workshop, what it is fans are able to put up their fan-created content in the Steam Workshop. They're mods for different kinds of games, and people are allowed to download them for free and implement them into their games. Now, modding has been out there for years, but what happened was Steam actually made it a part of their service. They streamlined it so that it was easier for people to download and install mods into their game, and it's the Steam Workshop is awesome. I freaking love it. Because before that, you had to, do a little bit of research and learn a little bit about, computers to be able to install some of these things. And sometimes it was a pain in the butt, but Steam streamlined it, and that was awesome, and I loved it. And there are a lot of creators out there who put a lot of work into these mods. DayZ was a mod, for crying out loud. And is like one of the biggest zombie games of all time, and they're still working on standalone. I can't wait to play that. But moving along from that, so creators were going to be getting some monetary compensation for the mods they created, and I thought that was great, because what that meant was that some of these people who they do these projects not to make money, they do these projects because they're passionate about it, and I, for one, believe that they do deserve some kind of compensation for that. They put all this time and work into this stuff and receive nothing in return. And by doing this, it would have been great for the community at large, because a lot of these people who are making these mods would then, getting some money out of it, they could maybe even make a living off of doing this, which would be great. There are people who put, months, years into making these mods and create really interesting stuff. And what that would have meant was that, new, like, kind of smaller people who never would have gone into the game industry before would be getting in, and there'd be more creativity and there'd be better stuff out there. But it's not going to happen now, because people were whining and crying about this too much because they didn't understand how the system worked. Now, I think the big problem was, and why there was so much of a backlash, was no one knew what was going on. And this wasn't Valve's fault that no one knew what was going on. It was the fault of people who read that Steam was going to start charging for certain mods. Well, they didn't even read that much. They just heard the word mods and charging, and they just lost their shit. There were still going to be free mods on Steam. You were still going to be able to use the workshop on Steam and not pay for it. But apparently, I've been going all over different gaming websites, and apparently no one read that far into that. All that they heard was, you're going to pay and mods, and they assumed everything was going to be charged for now. That was not the case. Creators were going to have the option of monetizing their creations. There was still going to be free stuff on the Steam Workshop. People didn't get that. That was the big problem. They did not understand how the system worked. And just this massive backlash happened, and they've already removed it. And that really upsets me for a lot of reasons. First of all, so much more cool content could have been created. And the backlash against this, I don't really get it. You know what? For years we've had, expansions to computer games. And then after expansions, there was DLC. More stuff for a game you already own. And people come down on different sides about DLC. This, people claim, oh well, they're putting lifts into the main game so that they can charge for DLC later on. Now, I'll admit, I've seen a couple companies do crap like that, and screw them. But for the most part, companies who come out with DLC after the main product is out, they come out with really neat stuff. An example of that is Killing Floor. You can get the standalone killing floor, and then later on you can buy more character skins, more weapon skins, stuff like that. You're not forced to buy any of this stuff. If you just have the main game, that's all you need. But if you want like a few extra, bells and whistles, you can get that for a couple extra bucks. It's very reasonable. And like they're doing package deals all the time where you can get the main game and all of the DLC in one neat little cheap package. And that's how I was looking at this mod situation. How the mods were very reasonably priced, not even close to what the price of most DLC is. And I just looked at it as like another form of DLC. And some really great stuff was on there for Skyrim. I didn't even own a copy of that game until all of this happened because they were doing a free weekend for it. I haven't played it before. It was only $5, and plus then I saw the mods that were available for it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get into this. Bought the game, and I had no problem, with paying a couple bucks for some of the mods because they looked cool, and like I said, it's exactly like DLC. But this just really upsets me. It really does. So much good could have come out of this. If this had taken off, what do you think would have happened? What would have happened? Sony would start paying attention to this. Microsoft would start paying attention to this. Maybe a decade down the line, Nintendo would start paying attention to this because Nintendo moves slower than the other companies. I love Nintendo, but let's face it, they do move slower. Look at how long it took them to put games on an actual CD. But, if this had succeeded, other game companies would have noticed and they would have followed suit. And there would have been an opportunity for a lot of very talented people out there to get into the industry, which is something that we need. We need less of the corporate crap, the people who just do not give a crap about the projects that they're working on. We need more people who are passionate about this and who actually give a crap about this content that they work on. And that's what this would have pushed. But like I said, people did not understand how this worked. And that's very sad. It's very sad this is being taken away from us this fast. I have heard, I'm not sure if this is what they're going to do, but I've heard that they're going to put in a donation option on mods so you can give some money to the creators. You don't have to, but you can. And if you see that option and you play a mod and you like it, please do this because some of these guys really deserve a little bit of compensation for all the time and hard work they put into this. And for any modders out there who are looking for exposure, contact me at my blog. I will post whatever your mod is and a link to wherever people can download it so people can check it out because you guys, you modders out there, I love you. You are one of the reasons that I got back into games. When I saw like the cool additional maps and stuff that were available for games like Left 4 Dead that fans had created, I just loved that crap. And that's one of the reasons why I got back into it after, a 10-year hiatus. But yeah, I'm very disappointed. How do you feel? Well, I'll talk to you next time. This is FUBAR live from the bunker signing out.